I would say that Wout's still got a decent shot. He's probably, on paper, one of the strongest riders in this race because no, there's no Van der Poel and there's no Pogacar here, there's no Pedersen. In theory, Wout is the strongest rider. It will just have to wait and see whether that manifests.
Think I'm gonna refrain from putting Binyam Gamai in the favorite section because, as we found out in our pre-research, whatever, before the preview, he was actually 55th last year. So don't worry, we will see Binny again in a preview, but I'm not gonna put the pressure on his shoulders for this one. One man that we are gonna put the pressure on is Tom Pidcock because this man. Okay, he won Ayula Tour. He won a stage in the Vuelta a Andalusia and finished on the podium. And we do know he has a good record in the one-day races. I think he's finished on the podium in Köln-Brussels-Köln. He's won Strada, obviously. He's won Amstel Gold. And Liège-Bastogne-Liège, he finished on the podium as well. So, yeah, Tom Pidcock, first of all, what on earth is he doing? Because the schedule that we've gone for in a different video, he's only doing Omloop Het Nieuwsblad and literally no other classics in terms of cobblestone riding. He goes on to the hillier ones, so it's very confusing.
Yeah, it is really confusing, isn't it? It's just Omloop Het Nieuwsblad, no Kona Brussels Kona, no E3, Dwaalsdorf, Vlaanderen, Le Samin, Roubaix, or Flanders or anything. It's quite odd that you see a rider just do Omloop Het Nieuwsblad and then just tap out, because then his next race is going to be Strade Bianche and then Tirreno Adriatico. So maybe he's just got more ambition for Strade Bianche, and is Omloop just almost, a bit like Pogacar is mentioned in an interview, is it almost like a switching of the engine, so to say, where you're switching from this stage racing style of race to being like a one-day racer, and perhaps Pidcock needs that one race just to kind of get him a mentality of fighting for position into kind of short, narrow lanes and those really short, repeated, explosive efforts. Maybe he's just, dare I even say, he's using Omloop as a training sort of thing. I don't really know. Pidcock has never really lived up to the hype of being a cobblestone rider. For years, people have said that he could be, but he's just never manifested into this cobbled rider that people have expected him to be able to form into. So I'm not really sure what's going on with Pidcock. I'm not sure why he's only just doing Omloop. It's very weird to me why this is the case, but he's been successful so far this year. I think the transition to Q36.5 has been a relatively smooth one and one which has been pretty fruitful so far. Whether that will continue into a result at Omloop, I'm not too sure. I think a top 10 is possible, if it came down to a sprint or if he managed to make it into some moves, like, yeah, for sure, but it's such a strange one where I don't think he's going to be winning this race. But I could be proven wrong. He's obviously had a really rejuvenated season, I think, so far. So maybe he could do well, but I'm not. I'm not counting my chickens.
Would you believe it? His first Omloop Het Nieuwsblad, he finished 55th, just like Binny did last year. What is it with this 55th? And to keep the fives alive, in 2023, he finished 5th, Tom Pidcock, in Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. And then obviously we spoke about the third place in Köln-Brussels-Köln, and last year he was 8th as well in Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. So, I mean, your 10th place, it works out. So we'll see maybe this Pidcock in this new iteration potentially can do something here more with the new team. Yeah, there's one team that we haven't spoken about, the most winning team of last year, the most dominant team. The ones who came second last year, UAE Team Emirates, XRG. I mean, Patrick, what do you expect of them and who are they bringing?
I think I'm expecting pretty big things from UAE in this race. They've never, outside of, okay, what I'm about to say is going to sound really stupid. I was going to say they're not really like a cobblestone team, but then I realised that Paul finished on the podium of Flanders last year and Pogacar's won Flanders, but you know what I mean? They're a team which hasn't necessarily been associated with strong cobblestone performances, but this is a team which has really got some legs behind it. Although it's not a fully confirmed squad because they've currently got 8 riders there, but I'll mention all of them. So Morgado, obviously man in form at the moment. Nils Pollitt, second place last year. Baroncini, Mikael Bjerg, Loon Hotz, new signing Jonathan Narvaez, who's obviously had a fantastic year so far after winning the Tour Down Under. Florian Vermeersch, and Tim Vellens, who was also looking very good in the Ruta del Sol stroke Vuelta Andalusia. I think it's a really strong squad. I hope that Morgado gets in here because I think that he's a man on fire. But he's obviously looking in fantastic form. He was good in Algarve. Narvaez is in good form. Vellens is looking good. And those are the three which I'm really looking to. I think that likely Hotz, Vermeersch, and Bjerg, Baroncini, Pollitt, I think those are more the domestiques. I think that Narvaez and Vellens and Morgado have got some real form at the moment, especially I'd say Narvaez and Morgado. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do. And it's almost spooky to think that this is a team without Tadej Pogacar as their real spearhead. Like, this isn't even a team at full capacity. So when it comes around to Flanders, oh, holy moly, this is going to be like the Visma bike of the last 2 years, and they've kind of formed it a bit almost out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's true. It's a very, very strong team. It's almost like, who's the leader here? Is it still Nils Pollitt, or is it just the road decides?
I think there isn't really a leader either. I think that it's